See. Okay. We should be back. Double check. I don't hear myself. We should be back. Oh, there I am. Cool. Okay. Oh, goodness. Can I play this without getting fucking sent to the abyss? Probably. I'm probably fine. I'm not gonna play it on max. There we go. And our guest should return shortly. This is new, by the way. Any Fire Faraji fans here? If so, well, you've probably seen this. But this is a new version of an old song he's already made before, and I do like it. I will say I do like it a lot. It's rather charming. No, technically, it's all good. It's fine. Right, he should be arriving shortly. Let's actually, let me make sure that he's actually featured in There we go. Gotta give some honor to the esteemed, beloved guest. Alright, we should be here. We should be working. Yes. I'm gonna lower the volume on the music if I can. Oh, fuck. I am the spitting image of competence. Right, cool. Okay. So I don't think we're gonna do any particular nonsense with fucking Minecraft or any other game for that matter, because it seems that my laptop can only handle so much, for it has absolute freakouts.
So it would seem, yes.
Yes. So instead, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna basically show you all my secret log of celebrities. It's not done because it will never be done, but hey, I have it. It exists. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, yes. And actually, name a celebrity. You name a celebrity if you want to.
Johnny Depp.
Ooh, do I have him? No, I don't think so. But hold on, let's see here.
Bruh.
Johnny Depp. Natal chart. He's a Leo rising. Another fucking Leo rising to the list, of course. What else do we have? He's a Gemini. Fucking Gemini Leo rising. Too many of those in this fucking thing. I can already tell you that. Like by fucking like Gemini top sun placement. Leo rising top rising sign. It's ridiculous. But hey, you know, it is what it is. Good lord. And technically speaking, the Leo rising is even more disproportionately represented than the Gemini. The Gemini, the sun placements are actually relatively evenly distributed. It's, compared to the Leo rising, yeah, it's not that disproportionate. But there are some absolute bangers in here, like this one, Neptune and Sagittarius. I mean, that's kind of a generational thing, so it's not that, like, individual. So it's not that surprising, but I mean, it's fair enough. Weird thing, moon sign Virgo super overrepresented too. Weird thing for me. I don't know why that is. That's like, why would that even be the case? Also, second house is the most common for the moon of the ones we have. As you can see, this is the number of celebrities for which I have any sort of natal chart. And this is the one where I have the natal and with like full house placements and everything. So yeah, you can see there's sort of a difference here. But even still, like second house, so many second houses. God damn. Right. So yeah, Johnny Depp. What can we say about him? Okay, so let's look at the sun, Gemini, 11th house. So a person who's sort of sense of self is sort of shifting, which makes sense for an actor. Very mutable identity, sense of self. What do we call it? His main sense of self also comes from the 11th house, so community. He's a externally oriented individual, an extrovert of sorts. Not necessarily saying he's like a high octane, high energy person. That doesn't necessarily seem to show, at least in what I've seen of his behavior. But I am saying that his general orientation is towards other people rather than himself. Is this all showing up on that? It's alright. His moon, actually, weird placement, Capricorn. I watched a video on Capricorn recently, and that one's pretty interesting. Basically, moon in Capricorn, very pragmatic. Yeah,
that makes sense.
Like a sort of, like their actual emotional state is mostly regulated by a sense of like utility and like achievement in a sort of sense. Legacy, I guess you can also talk about. And 6th house, so very work focused, emotionally speaking, actually. Rather interesting that. So Mercury in Taurus, okay. In conjunct Venus, so both Venus in Taurus, actually really good placement. It's the best Venus placement according to this. Yeah, here we go, Taurus right there. It makes sense. That's the traditionally one of the two houses of Venus, so that's a good one. But Mercury there also is kind of interesting. I don't think that's a particularly good placement. It's actually not too terrible. It's up there with Aries and Libra, which is like a weird two signs to be, like they're opposites, but they're both good. No. Anyways, so intellectually, like, actually rather stable, not like materially oriented, not particularly original necessarily, but hey, I don't have to be an original person to succeed in life. Not saying he isn't. Not to say he is not. Doesn't have a interesting personality, but it is what it is. So Venus alongside that will also add like an aesthetic sense to his intellect, and that kind of makes sense, being an artist and everything of a sort, actor. 10th house as well, so his intellect, his rational intellect and sense of beauty and desires are also again public, much like his sun in the 11th. Though in this case it's more like towards work and legacy, which again makes sense for an actor of a sort. Well, not literally an actor, but like it's the sort of thing you kind of would expect from an actor. Next up, Mars in Virgo, so we're expecting someone whose drives are... He's very work-oriented. It's in the 1st house, interestingly enough, so he works on himself, I guess we can say. His drives are towards himself. That also makes sense to me. That's in conjunction with both Pluto and Uranus, which will add some weirdness and originality to his drive. So you're not getting originality from his intellect per se, but his actual drives, his desires, his active desires, unlike a Venusian passive desire, is for something to be original and to change things, and that it goes along also with Pluto. I like to make sort of transformative change. So that's interesting. Very interesting conjunction. Also, yeah, the Pluto specifically is in the second house, so his what's it called, Martian drives will affect his income, and his income will affect his Martian drives, back and forth like that. Jupiter, Aries, 9th house. So that's actually, I also got a fire sign 9th house Jupiter, so that's cool. I think you, actually, I don't know, I don't think you have a 9th house one, but I'm pretty sure you have a fire sign Jupiter like me. Anyways, being an Aries will have a different effect than what I have, though, but so Jupiter, 9th house, Aries. So his joy will come from, like, both sort of teaching people and sort of learning new things, and again, more originality added here. Like the Mars and Jupiter kind of function interestingly similar here, with like a sort of, how do I say it? Original drive, a drive for innovation,
No.
initiative. Oh, yep, bless you. Good lord.
No, I said yeah. I didn't fucking burp or anything. Jeez.
It sounded like it on my end. Oh well, it's fine.
Yeah. Also, I found diamonds.
You found, yes, in Minecraft. What else?
At long last.
Long last. It's also 9th house, so it's gonna add some like religiosity in there. So yeah, again, if he is religious, he would probably consider it a core part of his life, and even if he's not religious, he will probably still consider his morality very important. I mean, well, of course all people do that, but I mean, like, it holds a particularly strong influence on his personal sense of well-being, is what I mean. Like, a lot of people just, like, they're religious, but they're not actually spiritual, and they don't really care about it. Like, if they suddenly went atheist, they wouldn't necessarily care, you know? This is not necessarily a sign of that. I'm not reading his personal bio, by the way. I wouldn't do that until, like, I've finished reading the chart. Maybe I'm wrong, who knows. I'm not a good astrologer, and even, like, maybe astrology is bullshit. I don't really care. I just have fun with it, you know? It is what I do.
Yeah.
As one of the things I do, rather. Next up,
this
Saturn in Aquarius. Another goated placement. The best Saturn placement. Yeah, see, Aquarius, 11 placements out of all these. Other good ones are Capricorn and Cancer. And after that, we also have, Aries. It's pretty good. Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, also pretty good. And then Pisces and Leo. Then Gemini and Sagittarius. No, wait. Then how is it that? Then Gemini and... What did I say? Sagittarius, yes. And not so good with Taurus. Taurus is not great for Saturn. I don't know why that is, but I could imagine it's something to do with resources acquisition, which is not, you know, a celebrity being poor is kind of unusual. As well, it's in the 7th house, right here. So he's got a systemic approach to relationships, I guess. But he's also sort of, since Saturn is there, it's like there's sort of a restriction, a sort of restriction, limitation of relationships. He will be bound in relationships, and they will will cause him problems, which we have seen. I do know a little bit about the man, so yeah, not that one kind of checks out. Definitely won't. I was like, maybe you shouldn't date, actually. Maybe just like dedicate yourself to your crafts instead. Maybe that will do you better. Who knows? Uranus, as I said, in Virgo. There's some originality, in work and working on yourself. It's not close to the ascendant, so it won't actually show up in his physiognomy strongly. If my schizoid knowledge strikes me correctly, but you know, it is what it is. Neptune, Scorpio, 4th house. I also have a 4th house. No, wait, no, Neptune. Nope, sorry, no, I do not have that. But 4th house Neptune in Scorpio. 4th house is tradition and home, family, a lot to do with children, though in a different sense than some other houses, which also have to do with children. This is like also sort of a teacher placement, I think. Like 4th house has some stuff to do with being a teacher or like raising children. Anyways, yeah. So Neptune in Scorpio will add some like emotionality, but also delusion, detachment from reality, imagination. Like Neptune is kind of a fucked up planet in astrology. It's not necessarily that good. I wouldn't be surprised if he's like, since it's Scorpio, I'm like a strange mix of like profundity with also like kind of a needless hostility. Since it's like a Martian sign. It's not great to see. I mean, Neptune is never really that great to see anywhere. But like that's particularly like I don't think I would want this to be my father, if you know what I mean. And then Pluto again, back to the Virgo placements there, the conjunction. 2nd house. I also have a 2nd house Pluto. So it is like transformation of like resources. So like this is kind of like stocks is immediately coming to mind. I think he would be pretty good as a stock trader. If he hadn't been an actor. Maybe he has good stocks. I don't know. Again, I don't know much about celebrities. I just collect their natal charts and other like esoteric and personality things, and I deal with that. You know, it's what I do. But like, yeah, again, if he were a stockbroker or something of the sort, I think he would be pretty good at it. With Virgo 2nd house Pluto. Because yeah, Pluto also have like plutocracy, you know, the rule by the witch. So there is definitely rich people elements to Pluto. So let's talk about the North Node then. 12th house Cancer North Node. So his destiny is moving towards the feelings, so like deep feelings in his like subconscious or unconscious. His destiny to explore his own feelings, kind of. Destiny is important. The word destiny is important here. It's not fate. Fate and destiny are two different things. You have to work for your destiny, and that's the important difference. You don't have to work for your fate. So that being, as I said, in Cancer, yes, Cancer in the 12th house. It could also like lead to like 12th house is sort of connotations to like jail and shit, so that's also not fantastic. But I mean, there are always problems in a natal chart. Like some of the planets here are literally indicative of problems. So you know, I mean, it is what it is. Chiron in the 8th house in Pisces. So 8th house is a weird one for me. I'm like, I get the inheritance part. There's also the death aspect, which I am still not quite sure how to interpret. Partially because I've like got a few planets in the, like not planets, but like planets and weighted points and whatnot in the 8th house. It's like I'm kind of worried actually what even the eighth house technically means on a deeper level. But like, I know it's sort of to do with inheritance, but it also has to do with death, your own death, not
Oh,
included. Like, there are different parts of the natal chart that will tell you about death. Pluto tells you something about death. Sixth house, I've heard, also tells you about death. 12th house might tell you something or other about death, or at least places where you're going to be dying. But I am still a learner.
interesting.
Anyway, so Chiron specifically in the 8th house and Pisces. Pisces is the part of this that I actually don't really get now. Because like, I understand like the Pisces desire for like merging and like spirituality and stuff of that sort. But the confusing part is what the heck, like, how do you square that with the 8th house and Chiron? Because I can kind of see how Chiron and the 8th house work together. It's like trauma from death. Someone dies, you experience trauma, and you like try to overcome that. And I guess Pisces then would be the means by which you overcome that. Since Pisces is ruled traditionally by Jupiter, I guess the 9th house, Jupiter and Aries, would probably hint something or somewhat towards what we're looking at here. So I have a feeling it is rather, I wouldn't be surprised if he's experienced many deaths in life, and that has driven him towards spirituality, or at least some kind of positive worldview. Which like, oh well, that's generic. I was like, yeah, I mean, fair enough. Like, is that really what happened to me though? I don't know. I'm not so sure. Whatever. Part and parcel of like being schizo on the internet is kind of rationalistic speak. You know how it is. I mean, maybe you don't, but whatever. It's
Yeah.
Last two things. The lot of fortune, I understand. That's again 8th house Pisces. So he will probably inherit. He's probably inherited a lot of stuff from people who he has known who have died, which is on one part sad, but on the other part it's also sort of beneficial. It's interesting to see, I will say. I don't really have much to say about that, other than that, yeah, I will probably get stuff from inheritance. I have a sibling who's got the 8th house, a lot of fortune, and I'm thinking, for that reason and many others, they're probably the one who is going to inherit a lot of the stuff from my parents, or maybe my other relatives as well, but who knows? We'll see. Life is long, relatively speaking.
Yeah.
Last, Lot of Spirit. I do not know what the Lot of Spirit is. I have not read into the Lot of Spirit enough. Let's fucking do it, I guess. Lot Arabic Parts, I think, is the page. Yeah, the lots. Okay. Oh, okay, that's interesting. Okay. Interesting. So I guess it's basically like what you're gonna do with stuff instead of what you're gonna be given. I see. Oh yeah, and they're opposite, so they're always gonna be on the opposite side of the wheel. I get it. Okay, cool. So that's 6th house, Capricorn. So I guess he will put his inheritance to use in work, and work hard, with what he has been given. That's what I'd read into that. Let's look at the aspects for fun. So I'll start with the sun. That's like the most normal It's a reasonable place to begin, because, it's the center of the solar system. It's called the solar system for a reason. So, yes, sun, first thing to see, we have 2 beneficial aspects and 1 difficult aspect. There's also a weak aspect here, which we'll look at last. I'm thinking we start with a sextile here between the sun and Jupiter. So there will be a beneficial effect on his ego from his faith and his optimism and his good luck in life. That's good to hear. And the other way around, if he gets praise, like someone inflates his ego, that will also make him happy. Like, that might sound generic, but it's not true for everyone. Certainly, I'm not the kind of guy who's like that, and I have a Sun Jupiter opposition. I don't like praise. It's kind of weird. It makes me feel uncomfortable. Additionally, what's this? The trine between Saturn and the Sun. Let's ask Valens what he thinks about that. Oh yes, he hates Aquarius despite being an Aquarius. It's so funny. Valens, what a guy. Or Valens, I should say. Because it's not Valens. He's Valens, in Latin. But regardless, so Sun and Saturn is what I'm looking for. Sun, Moon, Sun, Venus, Moon, Sun, Jupiter, Sun, no, Saturn, Sun, are odds giving and taking away possessions and friendships maliciously. Therefore, those born under such a juncture suffer secret enmities and threats from great persons, and are plotted against by some, and live hated to the end. That's great to hear. Playing their part well, they outlive most of their enemies. They are, however, not without resources, but are disturbed and long-suffering. They are self-controlled in this onslaught of reversals. And since it's a trine, it will mostly have the beneficial aspects of that. So he will endure, his sense of selfhood will endure despite challenges. He will outlive most of his enemies. Amber Heard, you heard it here. Amber Heard dies first.
Yep.
And well, yeah, he will endure. He will suffer a lot, but hey, he'll make it through. And I mean, so far that seems to be true. He certainly hasn't had his fair share of fucking bumpy rides, so to speak. Ay. Okay.
Yeah.
And that will also have words. It will also have the opposite effect of sorts. The sun's effects will positively affect Saturn, so he will, whenever he gets a boost of self-confidence from something or other, that will be a good thing for him, because that will make him more enduring and long-suffering.
Oh.
So, last thing about the sun, second to last thing I'll say. Second to last thing about the sun is that there is a square between Chiron and the sun, so his traumas will negatively affect his ego. Again, it's like, that sounds generic, but it's not. Is it necessarily? Some people don't really feel their traumas, in a sense. Their sense of self is maintained. Like, some people get PTSD, others don't. It's just the way things work for some reason. But yeah. I think he might have a little bit of a hard time, how do I say it? The teacher part of Chiron, his a way to help others, or teacher, healer, he's not necessarily going to be that good at that part of Chiron. So it's kind of a sad, unfortunate part of that. in a sense. At least he's not gonna emotionally, or not emotionally, but like egotistically resonate with it. No, there's one last aspect. This whole mess over here, this conjunction, this stellium, is slightly square the sun, so it will slightly negatively affect him, since it's in the specifically from the Pluto mostly, and the second house. It does feel like his hard work. He will suffer from hard work, even if he can tolerate it, even if he can endure it because of Saturn, and somewhat because of Jupiter. It will still not be the greatest for him on an ego level. I wouldn't be surprised if he feels like he's being exploited, for example. But yeah. What about this one? This is bad. The Venus Mercury conjunction in the 10th house has two aspects only, and they're both bad. It's a square to Saturn, and it's a square into the stellium in Virgo. So it's not great to see. No, it's not the strongest squares, but it's still not good to see. So while what I'm feeling is like his relationships. Yeah, especially since his 7th house is squaring into Venus. Yeah, that definitely fucks up relationships. I can definitely see that coming into the play. And I've heard that Mars square Venus can like lead to relationship problems, or like not having any relationships. This is obviously not true in his case, but I can definitely see issues coming in there. It's not like the power of a Venus Mars conjunction. Watch George's video about that, because that shit's absolutely cursed. It can be good, but this isn't good. This is just a square. This is just straight up negative. There's not even the positive influences of such a conjunction in there. Not good to see. I'm not happy to see it. And yeah, I mean, again, relationship problems is what I'm seeing, and I think that's pretty evident from even even the little I know. That's like, yeah, I can see it. Sadly, alas. This conjunction, this stellium right here. What about it? Well, we have a trine into the moon. That's a good thing. We have a opposition to Chiron. That's a bad thing. We have a square back into the Venus-Mercury thing, which I already talked about. And there are two semi-sextiles, one into Lilith, which I don't think I actually talked about, and Neptune, both in the 4th house. I guess I'll start with the positive aspects. So Lilith sextile Mars. That is an interesting one. I'm not super. Lilith is a super vague one to me, because it's like,
What the?
Eh?
Baby zombies can ride zombies now? What the fuck?
I'm sorry, I didn't. Okay, that's not.
What?
I don't think that's.
Okay, sorry, I interrupted, but what?
I don't think that's in.
Yeah, no, okay. That what?
Fuck it, we'll just breeze right past that. Whatever.
Yeah, no.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, dinner.
What the hell, dude? Okay.
So, Lilith, sextile Mars, Uranus, Pluto. Lilith is a weird one, as I said. Like, that it represents, like... It sort of feels like it represents the id, or the animus, or anima. Anima, I think, specifically, actually, because it's... Well, it would be a man. But it's also like... an interesting weighted point.
Yeah, I don't really have much understanding on Lilith as an aspect.
I don't either. It's like it's a more modern thing as far as I know.
Oh.
Uh, like I know the classical stuff. Like you can read about fucking Saturn and Jupiter and the Sun and Mercury and Venus and all that shit and Valence. Sorry.
Yeah.
Dios Valens. You could read that in his work because it's classical. You can see that with the naked eye. And I like Valence. I should read more of him. I keep saying it wrong, but fuck it. I'm gonna stop noting that at this point. I like his stuff, and I need to read more, because I certainly haven't read enough. But Lilith is like, it's not even a planet. It's not even a real astrological object. It's a weighted point. As far as I know, it's the point at which the moon is furthest away from Earth.
Oh.
I actually have a Lilith Moon conjunction in my natal chart, but whatever. Point is, Lilith is supposed to represent like your repressed, feminine aspect, or like at least some repressed aspects of your personality. I guess in a man it would probably be the animus. And sorry, anima. Animus is the one that women have. And it could also represent the shadow. If we're talking Jungian, more specific, other Jungian parts of the person. What I'm thinking here is like, since it's it's sextile into his Mars, I'm feeling like he has a good, like he has a way of incorporating his anima into his personality and his work, which I mean feels appropriate enough. While also his his anima also is rather aggressive, aggressive driven, work focused, stuff like that. So I think that might have something to do with it. I'm not gonna dwell more on that, to be honest. Let's talk about the sextile into Uranus, which is actually even fucking weirder. I think that it feels like a good thing, because I'm thinking it's like it will infuse some of his like drive, work, passion with creativity, like very fascinating, deep creativity, especially since it's Scorpio. It could add a little bit of delusion. A little bit Delulu, just a little bit, just a dollop of the kook. But it's something. It certainly is something. Are there any comments right now? Are there any deranged astrophoids talking in the comment section? No, there aren't. Sad.
It happens.
Yeah, it's fair. What more? Yeah, actually, shall we talk about that last? Yeah, we'll talk about that. Yeah, no, actually, there's... Yeah, we have the trine. We have the moon trine. That's actually a good thing. This is a weird one. He will... Since it's a trine between Mars and that stellium, the moon, it says to me at least that he gets emotional satisfaction from work, which is a good thing, of course. Like, you'd prefer to have a job you like. But it's also kind of interesting how that slightly contradicts like the ego damaging aspects from earlier. But like, it's not an impossibility, of course. You can like have a damaged ego and still feel emotional fulfillment in a sense. It's a weird thing, but I think it would be possible. Like, the human psyche is way more complex than a lot of people give it credit. But yeah, it's also, he probably does get at least a degree of emotional fulfillment from work. That's what I'm feeling here. Like, alright, so we've already talked about the square between between Mercury and the other stuff here in the stellium, the Venus-Mercury conjunction in the Mars stellium. So let's talk about the opposition to Chiron. It does suggest he has problems working through his trauma and his emotional damage. Now, like for real though, it's not. It does imply that he, even though he can sort of do it, you can still do anything in theory. Well, okay, like I'm exaggerating a bit, but like it's possible to work through your trauma with bad aspects, but it will be harder, unfortunately. And this is an example of that. You know what? I'm gonna turn off the music because I think it might genuinely be too repetitive. It's not necessarily for me. I'm hella autistic. I can listen to that forever, but other people exist. Sadly, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
But yeah, it suggests he has a trouble dealing with his trauma, working through his trauma. It almost feels like he would be running away from his trauma rather than confronting it, because it's an opposition. And likewise, he would struggle to actually work on his trauma. He'd also struggle to use his trauma actively and positively for, well, yeah, other people, probably. At least that's the sense I'm getting here. Do I know if any of this is true? I don't know. Again, I'm just spitting. I'm just reading. I'm not spitting facts. I'm just schizoing out. Alas, yes, that is what I'm seeing there, and that's not good. I don't like it. Well, of course, you shouldn't like it. It wouldn't be very sensible if you did. But yeah, I'm gonna go take a break, yes, and I will come back in like 5 minutes. We'll see. You entertain them with Yap. Actually, hold on. Can you screen share? I can let the people watch you play Minecraft.
I'm not on the. I'm not connected to the computer right now.
Oh, alas, unfortunately.
I'm calling you on the phone.
Understandable. Well, I'll be back. I'll play some fucking. Actually, wait, hold on. I can play something. We can have we can have Auburn here talk about NETIs. Yes, that's what we'll do.
Okay.
Hey guys, good.
God damn, that's fucking. Hold on, I'm gonna like have that volume because it's fucking loud.
Fair enough.
Should I flip this so I don't get fucking copyright struck or whatever? Can I even do that? Is that a possibility? That'd be hilarious.
Rotate 90 degrees.
Get rotated, idiot. Oh, well, that worked, actually. I think it seems to work.
Hey guys, good to see you again.
Yeah, it works.
So today we're
That's
finally
hilarious.
taking a look at the
I'll be back.
NETI type. Now the NETI type is the alpha type that is
That's not the
also
right button.
a explorer type or a PE lead type. And this type sits in between the NEFI from the delta quadrant and the SETI from the beta quadrant. Okay, so let's just get right into it. Here we go. So the first sample we're taking a look at here is Drake Bell.
These things called Where's Walter? Walter was the dad.
Okay, so quickly the voltology. We can see here the gentle embedding of the eyes. Notice how there's no resistance in the ocular tension to the eyes. The eyes sit very comfortably within their sockets. And the smile has a very zygomatic pull with just 2 points of tension here without 2 bottom points of tension. And as you can see here, let me turn this up a little bit. There's also a lot of fluidity in the body. Casual hands, loose body swaying. So yeah, we see the alpha voltology and we see this loose, casual, fluid, proactive PE voltology. And you can see here more clearly even the eyes have that very gentle embedding. They have that naive quality to them. So a few things about Drake Bell. He's an American actor, singer, and songwriter and musician. Actor, singer-songwriter. There's a singer-songwriter again. It seems like all the PE leads have that. And musician. Right, he's a musician, specifically a guitarist, as you can see here and here. Now, he also incorporated his guitar playing in his show, his most famous show that he's known for, from back in the day, and this is Drake and Josh. So let's listen into the video.
These things called Where's Walter? Walter was the dad on Drake and Josh. And me and Jonathan, who plays Walter, were sitting down at lunch one day, and we were thinking of just some funny YouTube things to do. And he's like, what if Walter went crazy and he becomes some homeless guy, and we don't know why he ran away? It's just something happened. He just went nuts. I'm like, it's a great idea.
What he just did right there is part of like this what if XYZ. You know, we saw that also with the NEFIs, right? These little skits that he is enacting with his body, as well as these hypothetical tangents. So there's a bit of that.
And I'm like, you know what? I just bought all this camera equipment. Let's just go shoot something real quick. So we went and had some fun, and it kind of snowballed into this whole thing where we got Yvette, who played Helen, to come back, and Nancy, who played Audrey, my mom, and the great Doheny. I mean, we had all these characters coming back and
Characters coming back from the Drake and Josh show.
doing these little snippets from the show, and it's like a high school reunion. Everybody was we were all such great friends, and everybody got along so well on that show that any inkling of us being able to get back together, we all jump at, you know. So
Yeah.
it's just now you just got to convince Josh. You know?
Yeah, exactly. You guys have a legendary chemistry, I think is fair to say.
Thank
I'm
you.
back.
And,
Okay,
honestly,
shit.
I mean, I don't think I've been able to.
Right, there we go. Do I get a copyright strike? Am I getting deleted now? Who knows? Who fucking knows? I can't turn on the volume of the stream playback, because then no, it will be horrible. It would be bad. But anyhow, yes. Let's turn this back to the normal way so that it doesn't look ridiculous when I start doing stuff again. I mean, it arguably looks ridiculous anyways, but you know what?
Funny Swedish man.
Yes, I am peak comedy.
What in the dear God was that?
What the hell was that?
Hey, yo, what?
Yes, Jupiter. Jupiter up here. How about Jupiter? Well, here's a fucking aspect I don't really know about. I've only read into the classical aspects, and the
Nasty.
inconjunct aspect is not part of classical astrology.
Bro.
Bruh. Oh, right. I forgot oh, yes. Sorry. I forgot I was still muted on Discord.
Oh.
Not sponsored.
You idiot.
Idiot. I'm a big fucking dummy. Yes. All right. So sorry.
Oh, you idiot.
So, as I said, inconjunct is not an aspect. I know it's not part of classical astrology, so I can't tell you anything about it. Alas.
Rip.
I can tell you about squares, and we have a fucking weird square between the moon and Jupiter. This does immediately scream sort of suffering from success. This is another thing where I feel like he probably doesn't, even though he can get something out of it, he also kind of doesn't. And what I mean work and expansion. Like his fame, even though the work part is actually kind of good, but I don't know if the fame that I'm feeling here is. I think that might be a little bit of a problem for him. It's what I'm intuitively seeing between this and this square here, and it's the strongest aspect in this natal chart, I think, which is actually rather unfortunate. Yeah, it's quite strong. It's within 10. What is it at? 10 minutes. Yeah, that's not good. That's not good. So I think he might need to stay out of the limelight. He probably wants his privacy, is what I'm feeling here, and I'm thinking that is that'd be pretty good for him. But I don't know. That's what I have to think about that. Feel, think, say, whatever. Jupiter. Yeah, we talked about the sextile into the sun. So yeah, his ego is boosted. So his sense of self, his self confidence is increased, but is weirdly also negatively affecting his emotions. Weird little contradiction there. What about what I didn't do the moon. I should have done the moon first actually. I should have done or sorry, not first, second. How about the moon? Well, I said we've talked about the aspects into Jupiter. We've not talked about the aspect into Chiron, which is a weird one. So my intuitive feeling is that while his traumas definitely have affected his self-esteem, his self-image negatively, it being sextile into the moon feels like he might actually have, weirdly enough, taken comfort in some of the trauma. Is what I'm feeling. His trauma and his damage and his problems. That is a weird one. That's a strange thing. It's not something you would expect. But it is what I think I am seeing here. What else? The moon is also... Well, we've already... That's an aspect I didn't talk about. The Neptune-Moon sextile. That's an interesting one. It's the second strongest aspect in his natal chart. Very, very interesting. What do I think about that? Hold on. Owensboro, Kentucky. Kentucky Fried Chicken. You know, I've never had KFC. Whatever. It's interesting. My immediate thought is that he gets emotional fulfillment from creativity, which, another thing, yeah, makes sense. Wow, big fucking surprise. I'd also not be surprised if he... I'm thinking he might have good dreams. Like, his dreams tend to be good. Is what... That's something that pops into my head. I don't know. So I think he probably appreciates sleep. I don't know, maybe that... Oh. Didn't know you were... Oh, you were... Aw. Our guest is currently muted. Unfortunate. Oh, well, we can let him do his thing. It's alright. But yeah, that's interesting. Good dreams. I can tell you someone else who doesn't have good dreams. Not me. I barely have any dreams. But I actually did tonight. I forgot what it was. Really, I don't actually remember what I dreamt. Also, I have weird hiccups now. I don't know what that's about, but it's an interesting one. Again, it's a lot of interesting things. I think everything is interesting. I think the world is interesting. The world is a fascinating place. And that's why I love learning stuff. Regardless of how so-called scientific it is, I think it's interesting. Can you let a brother have some fun? Anyways. Jupiter, cool. Saturn.
Can you fucking what?
Can a brother have some fun? Can a brother have some fun? No.
What?
I'm trying to have fun, okay? I'm trying to enjoy life. I'm just trying to learn. And that's
Okay.
all I do in life, you know?
Okay.
Anyhow, yes.
What has this got to do with this now? I'm very confused also.
Nah, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Let's took...
Okay.
Let's take a look at the Saturn's aspect. It's got one aspect we've already talked about and another aspect we've already talked about. You know, actually, one thing I'm thinking here with specifically the Mercury Saturn square is I think he might have problems getting into mental loops. he might have problems with like getting stuck in thoughts, and getting like hung up on specific details. So I think there's like a crippling pedanticism that I'm seeing with that specific aspect as well that I didn't actually think about before. Anything else? Uranus is part of the stelliums. It's not interesting. We already basically talked about it. Your Neptune. Did we talk about? It's also got an aspect into Chiron. Chiron. I think that sort of implies to me at least that Chiron feeds into his subconscious and his like creativity. So there's a little bit of a boost to creativity and intuition. Adds a dollop of delusion, but you know, it's what you get for it's something you pay for the price of creativity. And last, Pluto, part of the conjunction as well. So another one that's not interesting, because we already basically talked about it. Anything left to talk about that's somewhat interesting? The lot of fortune, does it have any aspects I can tell? It's got, I think, no, that's not it. Lot of fortune has opposition to Pluto, and therefore the rest of that stellium. So hard work might actually not necessarily give him what he wants. In terms of like fortune and stuff. Fortune, good health, stuff like that. Not saying he won't get rich of work, but I'm like saying struggle, and he will. My brain says that he might have a little bit of a problem with, like, how do I say it, overcommitting and accidentally hurting himself doing stuff, acting, or whatever he would be doing in any specific instance. Anything else? Nope. Let's talk about houses. First house, Leo, ruled by the sun. So his first house, and the sun in the 11th house. Sorry. So aspects of the first house will also take influence from the 11th. So his his general, like his aura, his radiation, his presence in the world will be affected by other people. So he is probably someone who adapts, who gets sort of style from others. Like, well, sure, everyone does. But, like, I mean, in a specific sense where he sort of adapts to the group. While, of course, since it's still Leo, he still maintains a distinct identity, but he's still going to be influenced by others in the group, aesthetically and personality-wise and stuff like that. Second house, Virgo, ruled by Mercury in the 10th house, so his 10th, so his work, like his grand projects, will be good for his wealth. Big surprise. Well, again, this is not necessarily aspects in everyone's natal chart, so you don't necessarily get that with everyone. But third house, same thing, 10th house influence, so he will have aspects of the third house. So his friendships, his close friendships, and his like relations with his siblings, and school actually will be influenced by the 10th, which is interesting. That sort of implies, well, he will meet a lot of close friends at work, and doing big projects. Again, like, wow, so fucking specific. I'm like, whatever. Fourth house, Scorpio, ruled by Mars. Mars in the first house. Though if we were using whole sign second house, we'll use the Placidus system for now and say it's first house. So tradition and home influenced by the first house, the self. Basically what I'm thinking here is, how do you say it? If we're not using whole sign, his home, his family, probably he's taking the lead. He's in charge, at least nominally. It kind of goes against from what I've seen or heard, sort of. At least in some cases. But, yeah, it's certainly, I don't, again, it's like problematic. It's problematic. Don't like seeing Scorpio too many places. And I think a lot of other astrologers can understand why, even if they don't necessarily agree. Anyways, fifth house, Sagittarius, Jupiter ruled, so ninth house influenced. Fifth house is play, fifth house is sex. Fifth house is sort of like discovery and learning as well. So that being influenced by the ninth house, religion and faith and travel and higher education, immediately gives the sense that he had a lot of fun in college. But also someone who takes pleasure in travel, adventure, going to different parts of the world. Which is understandable. Me being a, spoiler alert, fourth house chud, don't necessarily think like that. Though, well, there are things in my chart that sort of contradict that, but alas, it's not something. We're not here to talk about me. I do have a little bit of an ego, whatever. It's alright. Looking at Discord, yeah, okay, cool. Sixth house, Capricorn. Actually, a pretty natural place for Capricorn, it feels. Ruled by Saturn, so we have seventh house. So seventh house is relationships. So work and like contractual and formal relationships have a close bond. That sounds about right. It's, about who you know or whatever. And yeah, I mean, it feels right for that. It's a rather interesting thing to me that one would see that. Ba-na-na. Yeah, but sure. Yeah, it's interesting, I guess. Sixth house, yeah, also Capricorn, yeah, the fucking hard work, goal oriented. I should mention stuff like that. Seventh house ruled by Aquarius, and Aquarius is ruled by Saturn, and Saturn is already in the seventh, so it actually seventh house is standing sort of on its own. But yeah, Aquarius means that his relationships, professional and romantic, and will generally be, well, how do you say it? Will generally be systemic. It will be part of a system. It will be part of like an institution of sorts. It'll also be like networks, stuff like that. And also a lot like technological, which makes sense for an actor. That kind of checks out, I do suppose. Eighth house, Pisces, ruled by Jupiter in ninth house, so 8th house and ninth house will having a rather close bond. So we'd expect... Yeah, actually, it's going to make sense with the Chiron. Actually, it's... what's it called? Semi-sextile into Jupiter. So that's interesting. Anyway, sorry. 8th house, Pisces. Yeah, it feels like there's a spiritual dimension here, very strong spirituality or religion. Not that I think those are the same, but that's beyond the specific scope of this little reading. But yeah, it's sort of natural, honestly. Like this sort of death and religion having a close tie. It feels rather unsurprising, rather organic, for a lack of a better word. I really sorry. I'm an old man. Sorry. I don't really have more to say.
It's we all.
Yeah. 23 years plus. That will make me sound so fucking young to some. That's funny.
Oh.
But alas, like 23 years, and goddamn, I'm already falling apart. Yada yada.
Welcome to the world of Gen Z.
The Zoomer Waffen.
Bruh.
Right, sorry. Ninth house, Aries, first house. So ninth house will be influenced by the first house. So his faith and his stuff will be influenced by his self and his aura. So it feels like a little bit ego. His religious instinct will be a little bit narcissistic, little self-centered. But since it's also in Virgo, it's sort of not balances it out, but it reduces the effect, I'd say. If it had been in Leo, that would have been fucking disastrous. But yeah, that's an interesting one. Again, everything is interesting. I keep saying things are interesting, and I do mean it. But it's like, I'm very easily impressed, I guess. Fucking midheaven, 10th house, ruled by Taurus. And Venus is right in there. So Taurus, the 10th house is standing sort of on its own. Since it is Taurus, it will be driven, and it's Venus, yeah. It's driven by his sense of personal aesthetics and stuff like that. Yeah, you can kind of see that with the actor, and specifically what he's done in his career. You can see how that checks out. Shut up, stomach. I don't know. I don't really have much to say. Yeah, fair enough. 11th house, Gemini ruled by Mercury, so that moves into the 10th house. His work, his big projects, his big life works feed into his community, which also makes sense. If you're an actor, that kind of is your big thing in life. That will aspect into the sun. No, the sun? No. Into the 11th house. So community and work closely related, or rather, community feeds into work, I could say. Or the other way around, actually. Whatever. Important part is that, yes, work is important for his community. His relationship to the collective, the unity of people coming together and stuff of that sort. Right, anyways, last but not least, 12th house, ruled by Cancer, therefore Moon in the 6th house. So that is actually that's sort of problematic, having having the ruler of a house be in the opposite side, on the opposite side of the wheel, the natal chart. That's sort of a slight issue, but both of these houses are rather not so good, so kind of fucked either way. Oh, hit myself. Oh well. Hold on, 1963, 9th of June 1963. Just got a 1963. Already have a bunch of people from 1963. What, 9th of June? Ninth April, 9th December. June, we have July, and that's 29th. Huh. Okay, so I don't actually have 9th of June. I do have 1963, and I would rather not add another person from 1963. But I do wish for more. I wish to fill out, so I have one for every day. Is one of my goals. And I do have space in a sense. So, hold on a moment.
He's a nobody.
Ever read the Odyssey? After Odysseus was caught by the Cyclops, he told it his name was Nobody. So when he poked its eye out and its friends asked who did it, all the Cyclops could say was, nobody.
Point taken. He's a nobody.
Ever read the Odyssey?
Anyways, 12th and 6th house interplay. I'm like, immediately, I'm like, has he been arrested for, has he ever been arrested while on set? Or like, during a concert, or something like that? That's like immediately what that screams to me. He's multiple times, had problems being fucking imprisoned because he's done something while he's been working. That's what I feel. That's what I'm thinking when I see that. I wouldn't know. As I said, I don't follow celebrities like that. I'm just thinking out loud. Fucking A. Yeah. As this says, yeah, there's a lot of earthiness to the chart as well, yeah. A lot of planets in Earth signs rather. Do we have? Yeah, we have a planet in, at least one planet in each Earth sign. That's fucking interesting. Do I have anything like that in my natal? I don't think so. I'm pretty sure. No. Technically it's not planets, but I do have the only elemental trine, which I have one of these bodies in each and every one is fire. The other elements, I'm missing at least one. In water, I'm actually pretty completely empty. I don't have anything in Pisces, nothing in Cancer, and nothing in Scorpio. Not to say that those don't have a place in my chart, because of course they do, but they don't have any weighted points, any of these weighted points, or any of the planets. So that's my chart. Not gonna show you my chart. That might come at some other point. Whatever. My fellow Americans, I'm not even American. Rose just got a lot of them. Can you look at the synastry? That'd be kind of funny. Let's look at this one. This one is funny. Let's see here. What's their synastry? What does this think? Oh, this says oh. Oh. Wait, hold on. She's a Taurus. He's a Gemini. Already kind of not necessarily a good combination. Venus together, so that part would be sort of. Okay. Her north node is in Aries. Mercury in Aries as well. Oh, we don't have a specific time for her. Oh. Moon is in Libra. That's an odd one. I don't like the Mars Capricorn. I mean, not to hate on Capricorns. I've got a lot of Capricorn in my chart, but like, that does scream sort of ambitious, kind of not backstabber per se, but not necessarily the most trustworthy. Pragmatic is a word you could use. That's for sure. She's a fucking millennial, yeah, basically. Well, not technically, whatever. If you have this, you're a millennial, as far as I'm concerned. Pluto in Scorpio, millennial coded. I mean, it's whatever. I produce a lot of saliva. I don't know why that is. I'm just like that. Huh. Oh, actually, here's a fucking horrible one. This one's sort of... This is slightly bad as well. It's not as strong, but it's still... it's not great. But like this right here, this is fucking... This is rather cursed. Having Chiron conjunct Jupiter is like... Your expansion and your joy is gonna traumatize you. That's not good. We don't like to see that.
That's horrible.
Then again, this one is also not great. It's like his ego will negatively impact her. With her, yeah. That's ooh, yeah. I can see definitely parts of this where it's like, not a good place, and not a good combination. Then again, combination. I have not looked at enough natal charts to be able to like. I'm not I'm so new to this. I'm like not sure how to really look at that stuff thoroughly. But yeah. Nope. Anyways, can we put this in my collection? Maybe we can. Yeah, I have these. I have see the Iceman in here for shits and giggles. The most important part of why I have him here is I can actually do physiognomy on him. Look, where is physiognomy? Oh, well, I've hidden it. That's why. And a bunch of the MBTI as well. But yeah, I've got this. It's a Jupiter plus Mars, I think, at least according to the reconstruction. Archaic, Alpinid, Sanguine, Choleric. Yeah. Cursed. Nah, it's not cursed necessarily. Anyways, we'll hide these again for now. I have not... well, actually, I've talked about physiognomy before, but whatever. I could talk about it more sometime. You know, speaking of physiognomy, let's look at his... Let's look at Johnny's physiognomy. What is he? Johnny Depp. Immediately giving Venus vibes, though he's got kind of hollowed out cheeks, so it's a little Saturnian. Here, though, he looks pretty fucking solidly Venusian to me. Is he a sanguine? He might be. That's the fucking strong jawline. Which is a good... Oh. He might be a sanguine. He might be a choleric. How tall is he? I don't know. Let's Let's look at Wikimedia. Let's see pictures of the man. Johnny Depp. We are not actually going to look at this. We're going to look at this if we can. Never fucking... Wait, no, yes. Here we go. By year. Let's start as early as we can. Again, think Venus is a little bit like the squareness and, the breadth of the chin and the forehead is not necessarily... That's Saturnian. That's like, it's a little bit. I'm going to say, I'm going to say Venus, maybe with a little Mercury, and probably some Saturn, but I'm saying mostly Venus. Oh. No. Oh. Ooh, hold on. Is that eyebrow asymmetry I'm seeing? Hold on. Left. This is his right side. This is left. Okay, that's cursed. He's got a controlling left side. That's not super endearing. It shows a need for control in his personal life. Which, I mean, honestly, I am kind of throwing stones in glass houses because I also have that sort of asymmetry. But, like, I know the downfall in my own persona, my personality rather, not necessarily persona. The faults in my character, and seeing that in someone else, while unfortunately rather common, is still not reassuring. Not getting any really good pictures of him here. Hold on, can I? His face shape has changed. Definitely. It looks like a lot more... It looks more Jupiterian. That's cursed. It looks more Jupiterian. A little more earthy. And I still think I can see the sort of Saturnian aspect there. He reminds me a little of Nelson Mandela. Who definitely had a Saturn plus Jupiter face shape. So I might say he's now gone from that, like, Venusian to a Saturn plus Jupiter face shape. Which, what did I call, what is that one called? I think I have a name for that archetype combination. Saturn over Jupiter. The legislator. Yes. That's what I called it. I need to see a side profile better, though. Because, like, is he choleric? Is he sanguine? Nope, that's not side fucking profile. Ooh, okay. Is that it? Hold on. It looks like he has at least a sanguine chin. At least from this picture. So he's gonna present initially as very spunky and outgoing and fun. But if his jawline is different, that will show that he will eventually become sort of a different personality with time. Not like with time in general, but like as long as you know him. Oh, it's Alice Cooper. I can't see if I don't see any other pictures here that are that good. So let's look at something else. Nope, not a good angle here either. What is that? I don't know. Okay, here we can see that it does look sanguine. From this angle, at least. Like, very strong, almost not full 90 degree, but close to 90 degree jaw angle. You're a sanguine, so, you know, you'd
Yeah.
know how to be a goofball. Yeah, that's true about you here. Like, you start out grumpy and then you become a goof. That's actually so true.
Pungus.
He looks, yeah, I think he's mostly sanguine. He might have a bow of melancholy, which is like kind of fucking weird, because like sanguine with bow of melancholy is like sort of a contradiction almost, but you know, it's possible. Oh, so is this Amber? Yeah. She looks like a choleric forehead. I think sanguine chin. It could be choleric chin. Either way, high intensity. And the jawline looks melancholic. So she will at least present high intensity, and then she'll become super depressive, and she will have a intellectual need for control. So, I can see how that could lead to problems, yeah. Like, melancholics given to pessimism and stuff like that. Doomer chuds, that's what a lot of melancholic men turn into. That's sadly the case. Also, freaking, what's it say? Tom Cruise here looking pretty sanguine as well. Yeah, I think Johnny is this picture makes him look really Jupiter plus Saturn to me. So I'm probably gonna say he's a Jupiter plus Saturn. As I said, maybe possibly some Earth, but that's like secondary at best. Hold on, what's his background, by the way? Primarily English, some French, German, Irish, and distant African American ancestry. Oh, that's kind of cool. He's descended from the first black. I will not say African American because that's cringe. They're black. They call themselves that when you ask them, so that's what they're called. But yeah, that's interesting though. Oh, you know, interesting. Depp. Actually, if he's mostly English, that's rather interesting. If so, because he's phenotype. I mean, I guess he would be some kind of Atlantid then. Hold on, let's look at phenotypes. Atlantids. Paleo Atlantid? Paleo Mediterranean? No. That's not it. Paleo Atlantid? This, I think, is a little more plausible. I think this might be his pheno. Could be Paleo, North Atlantid, at least somewhat as well. Like, definitely, I see the Mediterranean element. That's for damn sure. I don't think he's a Gracile Med, because that's like, do we have that? Come on. No? Okay, along Gracile Med. Gracile Mediterranean. He's like this. It doesn't really look like that. I mean, you could kind of see how it could be, but Littorid, no, definitely not. Maybe you're African as well, possibly as well. In some part. It's like the robustness. But, I'd say he probably more so than not has the, has whatever I just said before. Paleo Atlantid. Mostly. Anyhow, yes, back to the actual physiognomy itself, not the pheno. The pheno is just the background. We just use that to determine what the baseline is, so we don't like accidentally say that, I don't know, someone is like, what the fuck's a good what's a good example? Like, we don't say all Nordids have long noses. It's like, well, I mean, relatively by world standards, yes, but like phenotype, no. It's like, I do think he's probably sanguine. But again, probably also with a bow of melancholy. Weird combination, but it is possible. He does look like Sam. He does look like Sam Hyde in this picture somewhat. I don't know, that's rather funny to me. Fucking, he keeps showing up everywhere. Everywhere I go, I see his face. Oh, hold on. Does he?
Just if I watched it and Sam Hyde just appears. It's like,
Yeah. You know, I think he might have somewhat of an asymmetrical jawline, actually. That'd be interesting. I think his left jaw is actually slightly more sanguine than his right. But this is also very square. Hmm. It. No, I'm not gonna say that. Sometimes I have to stop myself from saying things because, like, I don't want to say things that I don't know that I can say, if that makes any sense. Also, like, in this picture, if you look at it, it does look like his jawline here is a lot stronger than his jawline here. So I think he might have a stronger left jaw than his right. So that's interesting. That would sort of imply that he is more optimistic in his private life. Then again, here's another picture where it's sort of ambiguous if he's a sanguine or a choleric. I'm still gonna call him a sanguine at the end of the day, but he is not a strongly super strong sanguine. He's like, he doesn't have your jawline, is what I'm saying. And I still think he probably would classify as having sort of a both melancholy, because you can sort of see the sort of curvature to his overall side profile there. And this picture, he also does have like a little bit of a, how do I say, a concave nose. So he's gonna be a little impulsive. I don't know if it's that might have changed with time. I wouldn't know. But yeah. What about his MBTI? What do they think he is in that system? No, hold on. What do the MBTI people think he is? Myers-Briggs guys. They think he is an INFP. Just like you. Wow, crazy. What do the other ones congru, so to speak? It says INFP here too, yeah. Okay. INFP. Oh, I don't need to think. No. He's a Gemini. Rabbit. You're the rabbit. INFP again. INFP. 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 Keep saying INFP. Everyone says he's an INFP, so I'll just go with it and agree and say he's an INFP. Because why not? Anyways, here's the Voltology, Voltology.com. This is really good. This is better than the MBTI. Fight me. Let's see, Johnny Depp. Do we have him in the database? This is the only downside. This is the only place where you can find it, and if it is not here, fuck us, I guess. Let's see what he is considered in the Voltology. TISE. So hold on, TI. Yeah, okay, so he's a beta type, yeah. It says it right here. Cool. I'm also pretty sure I'm in the beta quadrant. Or quadra. Whatever word you want to use for that. He's also level 3 development. That's pretty good. Most people are like... Hold on. I think most people are like level 2 development. Usually like TISE developed. But he's actually pretty advanced. He could jump. If he goes one step further, he'd be a fully developed character, so to speak. Well, not necessarily, but at least it's like functionally complete development. Resnick, Peter Resnick? No, not him. Interesting. What would this be equivalent of? Let's see here. Since he's TI lead. Am I TISC? Like, I might not come off as that, but I'm pretty sure I'm more well developed than like a single function. So I think we might be the same time. It's possible that I'm stupid though, and I don't know what I am. I think it's one of which one is it? I don't think it's any of these. Is it the ISF? Oh, hold on. Let's start with the one that people think he is. I guess that would make sense. They said this is T.
Well, yes, that would make sense.
This is FINE. This is like the complete opposite. This is a delta type, isn't it? Am I dense?
Probably.
Yeah, fair.
Mm-mm.
INFP, so I guess ISFJ? Hold on, let's see that. The Defender. SIFE, that's wrong. Come on. I don't know the functions for these ones. That's the problem. Because these are not named with a function. They're just called they're just named after the functions. They don't have individual designation, you know? Definitely. Why am I opening this? This is stupid. He's obviously an I type. That's evident. No NI, that's what? INTP? Probably not. TINE, yeah. TISE is what we're looking for. INTJ. NITE. Completely wrong again. ISTP. TISE. Ah, here it is. Yes. The virtuoso. So ISTP according to if we're using equivalents, which is not necessarily appropriate. You shouldn't necessarily do that. Anyways, I'm taking another break, and I'll be back in a moment or so.
Okay. Break time. Yeehaw. Oh, hiccups. Yay. Oh. No, not that one. Fool. Buckus. Lodestone. And there's a cow stuck in here. Of course there is. Why wouldn't there? What the fuck, dude?
Alright, I'm back.
Oh, bungus.
Bongers. Alright, physiognomically speaking, by that I'm supposed to be a choleric with a bow of melancholy, and I'm like, maybe. I mean, I come off as a sanguine during streams like this. But you can also see the choleric angle since I'm, concentrating, unlike a sanguine. I'm not Prosopa Insights. I stay on a single fucking topic for the entirety of the stream, and that's basically what I've been doing. I'm gonna change. Hold on. I'm gonna change the title. I'm gonna change the title of the stream to make it even funnier. I'm gonna change the title to Kalkyl 10th anniversary.
Ow.
With Reis. In Depp. Analysis of Johnny Depp.
Oh, why did I do that? There we go.
Yes. Alright. Actually, we can do some more deep dive on the physiognomy shit. Let's do that. Let's continue on the subject. And I think... What?
Nothing.
Okay, whatever. Yeah, okay, so as I said, probably sanguine with a bow of melancholy. Face shape, the trapezoid Saturn with the reverse trapezoid Jupiter. So we have the focus and dedication and meticulousness of Saturn combined with the morality and the desire for a good life and the optimism and extroversion of the Jupiter. So giving us a total of a very focused, dedicated, willful individual who's still dedicated to morality and just the good things in life. As his ears are interesting, they actually mostly bulge on the upper third, at least on his right ear, meaning his professional persona has an intellectual interest. His eyebrows, at this point anyway, seem to be straight, slightly curved, so his mostly rational, but slightly given to influence of the crowd. His eyes, his right eye looks positively Kalkyl tilted, at least in this picture. This is the same picture basically. His eye, right, as I say, yeah, right eye, positive Kalkyl tilt, implying he would have a professional. His professional persona, his professional character, is very bold and aggressive and self-orientated, while his left eye looks like it's got a neutral Kalkyl tilt. So he's got a more how do I say it? A more balanced approach to his personal life. He's not necessarily as domineering, not necessarily as self-driven, self-orientated. Sorry, not driven. And yeah. Actually, I should talk about how the displaying of his ears. It looks like the right ear at least is moderately wide splayed. This is more independent than not. Which is fairly interesting. Any other pictures? Hold on. Yeah. Huh. Yeah, okay, yeah, they look pretty. They're fairly wide splayed. So yeah, most rather independent. They're moderately large. I'd say they're not necessarily outstandingly large or small. So not super easily influenced, not super hard to influence either. Somewhere in between. Earlobes also, they're moderately large, slightly on the largish side. They're definitely larger than mine. I have pretty small earlobes, which is why I don't keep any track of how much money I make. I genuinely have no idea. Yeah. I said, yeah, hold on. Let's look at his eyes again, because I think they're actually more interesting than I.
No.
Are we back? Hold on, are we back? Interesting than I.
No.
I think so. Are we back? Yeah, I hear myself. Cool. Hold on. Let's see if I can open this shit back up, alright? Alright, seems that we're good. Sorry, I forgot to connect my laptop to charge, so it ran out of battery.
Oh, you numbnut.
Yeah, I'm a fucking dense idiot, but it's all good. We're back. I think we're gonna do like 10 more minutes at most. Then yeah, that was the 10th anniversary of my channel. Not necessarily a huge milestone because I didn't really make much content, but you know, it is what it is. Anyways,
That's good.
yes. What were we talking about? His eyes, yes. Okay, so yeah, he's sort of got this on both sides, but it's more extreme on the left. His eyelid here droops. This is not a good sign, I can tell you that already. That shows that he's kind of hiding away from his personal life and his past. He's scared of his past. He's got trauma, and that sort of showed up in his natal chart too. So yeah, that's an interesting alignment there for sure. But yeah, no, that's not a good sign. Definitely, yeah, he needs to find help, and I mean he probably has, to be honest. But yeah, not a good sign. It's slightly there on the right as well. So it also has some degree of that in his his public life, but it is not so much a it's not as big of a thing there. Yeah. Yes. Just look at that later, the Wikipedia article, because I want to see some stuff there. But alright, so we looked at his upper third. It's also a rather large forehead, actually. So he does have somewhat of an intellectual bent to him, but he's actually got relatively balanced features overall. So it's actually not like super disproportionate. Anyways, yeah, nose wide. That's a good thing. That means a lot of stamina. I'm not sure if it's straight or concave. It definitely isn't. It doesn't look like it's curved out. It's not a beak nose, and definitely not a Roman nose. That's for sure. It looks straight here. What the hell? It looks straight to me. So probably, mostly a sort of cold, rational approach to life. Not super emotionally driven. Not to say that he's in like a cold machine or whatever. He's like, I also got a straight nose, and I'm like obviously not completely cold, but he's not he's not like controlled. He doesn't run on emotion, if you will.
Yeah.
Not to say he can't feel any. It looks long, by the way, like relative to the overall size of his like head and whatever. It's a pretty long nose, so he's actually kind of a premeditated, calculating, sort of patient individual. It's a long-suffering. That checks out with the astrology again, with a sun, like the aspects into Saturn. So he's an enduring kind of person. Definitely suffered a lot, but he can actually take it. Yeah. How much of a nazi? He sort of got like laugh lines. It could actually be deeper, but they're not actually that deep. It's interesting. It's actually deeper on his left side. So he's actually got more personal convictions in his private life. His public life is not so... He's not so sure what he's doing with himself, so to speak, in his public life. But his private life, he's actually seemingly got an idea for. Huh. That's odd. But in this picture, it seems the opposite. Are these mirrored? Hold on. How would I know? The earrings? The tattoos? Hard to tell. Whatever. We can say he's got on both sides. So he does actually have a sense of who he is and his purpose in life. Falling lines, also called. And it also shows like a command ability, because generally people listen to people who know, or at least think they know what they're doing, and that's what that would indicate essentially. How about his mouth? I think there were better pictures. I could actually do this more efficiently, but whatever. Notice instantly the Venus. It does look like he has a Venus lip, which is good. It indicates charisma. I got sort of that, but not as... It's not as strong in me. I'm sort of moon upper lip, to be honest. But yeah, charisma, good speaking ability, real smooth talking guy, which is good. He's got a sort of shallow philtrum, which is interesting. So his physical energy is actually kind of low. Well, it's like the nose is more like general and often social energy. The philtrum is sort of like specifically on his physical presence. It's actually kind of shallow, which is kind of odd for an actor. But I mean, it kind of works out, I suppose, because he isn't necessarily the most flamboyant, like, at least from what I've seen of him, he seems to actually be a sort of reserved guy in real life. But I'm not super into celebrities, so like, take whatever I say with a grain of salt. I should have mentioned his eyebrows do seem to be a bit thin. So that would indicate also, like, not necessarily that intense of a... Like, he's not a high fucking, like, not brain power, but, like, intellectual intensity, not that high. But yeah, also, yeah, lower lip, big, very good, internal, strong, like, internal communication with himself. Upper lip, slightly smaller, but still pretty full, relatively speaking. So, also, like, mostly honest dude. Actually, in this picture, this picture's lower lip looks a little smaller. It's a little... I'm unsure, but his mouth is rather small, though, so he's actually rather introverted, socially speaking. It does look like he has lipless corners to the mouth, though, so he's a guy who gets things done. Which is nice, of course. We like to see that. And last but not least, do we have any crease below the chin like I do, which I've had since I was a wee babe? Nope, not really. Huh. Interestingly, no, actually, there's slightly of it, but not that much. He's not got like the despair line on his left side, which you would expect from someone who's got has had so many troubles in his private life. It's actually worse on the right. That's interesting. So he's actually, his public life has actually got more, like, despair. And also, you can sort of see it here, but it was better in one of these pictures. That he's actually got a stronger, worry line on his right side. So he's actually more worried about his public life than his private life. Despite the fact that he's hiding away, he's shying away from his private life, but he is more worried about his public life. That's interesting contradiction. Again, here he does look like he has a larger lower lip, so maybe it varies back and forth. I mean, we're trained to believe that is indeed how it works in physiognomy, so, you know, when you see a physical change, it's a personality change as well. Any other thing we can do? We can do, like, left side, right side analysis. I'm not gonna do it, like, with an editing software. I'm just gonna do it with my hand. I'm just gonna cover up one side of his face. And if we do that, his right side looks confident, cheeky, funny, a lot more... Which face shape would I say? Well, we can look at other pictures for that, but no, he does look more jovial to me, at least. Like, as in terms of his demeanor, anyways, his, like, facial expression. On his left side, it looks rather sad, actually. That's unfortunate. What about this picture? Oh, and it looks confident in this picture. Confident, willful. Focused. And this side, again, sad. No, that's bad. Don't like that at all. We don't like to see that. In terms of face shape, though, he looks a little lunar on his left side. Whereas the right side does look more like just the way I described him, with a Saturn plus Jupiter. Interesting. This image has a slightly different. He looks downright tired on both sides in this image. Huh. How about this one? More confident on the right. And he's actually not too... He's actually rather happy on the left side in this one. So he's not so despairful. How about... Oh, his teeth, too. Huh. He's got a slight gap between his front teeth. Nowhere near mine, though. So he's slightly of a... He's a little bit of a rebel. A bit of a nonconformist. Teeth are actually relatively small. So he's actually not that much of a gourmand. Not that much of a person who indulges, necessarily. Not to say he doesn't have appetites, or that he's like an ascetic of some kind, but he's not someone who will just consume continually forever. Also, this picture here, and that when he's younger, he definitely has a lot larger lips, definitely. His lips aren't that protruding either, so he's, again, not necessarily a super indulgent guy. How about this one, though? Huh. A little, it may be a little more, who knows. But yeah, I think that's it. I think the face reading, I think that's it for the face reading. I think that's it for the stream too. I'm pretty fucking fried after that. But yeah.
Understandable.
So, anyways, that was a cool little celebration. Didn't really get any views, but hey, it's not about the views. It's about having fun, and I certainly did.
Hell yeah.
And I hope you all too, viewers, also had fun. I hope you also had fun, Reis. I really do.
Yeah.
That's good. All right, then, people. I think that's it. Brush your teeth. Don't drink bleach, and I'll see you. See you around, people.